It's Max here. Today I'm going to run you through a tutorial on how to make an electro snare using the ES2 synthesizer and just Logic plugins. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to play you what I've got already. So this is the sound we're going for at the end. As you can hear, it's quite electro-y. Right then, in the top left, I'm going to create a new channel. It's going to take a while to come up apparently. There it is. Create a new software instrument. And I'm going to change in the bottom left this to the ES2. Right there. Okay, that's going to pop up on my screen. Now the first thing I need here is I need a white noise sound for the snare. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go down to tutorial settings. Analog saw in it. Now that sounds like this. I'm going to turn off number 1, drag this little square thing down to the bottom right, turn on number 3, and twiddle the knob round to noise. There we go, white noise. In here, I want to take the sustain down on number 3. So as you can hear, it sort of tails off a bit, and I'm going to take the distortion tone down to dark and increase the distortion to 1 dB. That sounds like that. Following that, I'm going to go over to the left hand side here again. It's a bit fun. And I'm going to put on an enveloper. Okay, what this is going to do is it's going to give me a slap on the front of the snare. So as you can see here, there is a couple of different knobs. This first one here, the gain, it's giving me a lot of gain on the front. Turn that up to 50, and if I move this over to here, you can hear without it and with it. As you can hear, lots of attack on the front, sounds like a snare drum being hit. After that, I'm going to focus on the back end. So I want to go and I want to get a noise gate. Now what this is going to do is it's going to create a nice tail off effect rather than the snare going on forever, as it does at the moment. I take it off rather. There you go, that's going on forever. Turn this on. Anything below the threshold, which at the moment is around, say, 19. I'm actually still holding that. It's going to turn off. So if we just zoom in here, that's the threshold. I want that at 19. Then what I'm going to do is the release. I'm going to turn it up to about 170. And what that'll do, it'll give you a nice tail rather than a flat cut-off, which that is with the release up. Gives you a much nicer curve. Okay, after that I'm going to give it some distortion, well in this case overdrive rather. I'm going to turn this up to about 7,500, not 8,000. And that's going to do it for me. What it's going to do is going to give it some body. So in here that's quite bodyish, without it, with it. Okay. After that I would like to give it some compression. Now with this compressor, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all give it a ratio of about 3:1, and I'm going to change it to a VCA because I like them. Pull down on the threshold. Now I want to give it quite a low, well a high attack, meaning I want to have the attack at about 50. What this is going to do is it means the compressor doesn't kick in until after 50 milliseconds. Now the reason I've got the envelope open on the left hand side here is to show you that the time we had for our big attack of gain was 68 milliseconds long. So if we have it at about 53 or 60, it's going to let all of that through and then start acting on the rest of the snare drum later. So if I play that, pull down on the compression. Now if I take the attack right down, don't know if you can hear, that's pretty much compressed the front end of the snare off. So I don't want that. I want to have about 50 of attack. There we go. And I'm going to turn down the makeup gain as well. The final thing to do here, I'm going to have some channel EQ. I'm going to take off the bottom and the top. Don't think you need, the top is debatable, but you definitely don't need the bottom below 100. And just based on what I had earlier, I'm going to take off at around 250. I think was this. The way I found all these settings is by trial and error. I mean, I know roughly what I'm doing with this stuff, but if you want to create your own sounds, just go through any of the processes here and just play with some knobs, and you'll get a good sound. So let's compare that to what we had earlier. This is now, and this is what I made earlier. Pretty similar. Okay, let's have a listen to this in context. Okay, thanks for watching. My name's Max. I'm going to be doing a bunch of tutorials about this kind of stuff, so please subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment on the video or drop me an email through YouTube, and I will do my best to put another tutorial up. Cheers, folks.